Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about the very relevant controversy that's happening right now revolving Jesy Nelson and just everything going on with her, Nicki Minaj, Little Mix, all of that. I'm going to be talking about all of it and the controversy around her skin tone, her new single, and the beef that she apparently has with her ex-bandmates. So before we do get into this video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the video. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little bit of background about who Jesy Nelson even is. She is a 30-year-old pop singer who was a member of Little Mix from 2011 to December 2020. She actually had auditioned for the X Factor in 2011 as a solo artist and then was put in the group Little Mix and was a member ever since, and they're pretty big all around the world, but mostly in the UK, I would say. I think they're less popular in America than they are in the UK, but they've been pretty popular in the UK especially, and they have a pretty large and strong fan base. And Jesy left Little Mix and cited a few reasons, but mainly she said that she was receiving a lot of hate and she couldn't deal with it anymore and she decided to leave. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put in the statement that she posted when she left the group, because I do think that it's relevant to this video, and I'm going to read it so that you don't have to do all of that reading. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go over what she exactly said as to why she left Little Mix in the first place. So Jesy wrote, "To all my mixers, the past 9 years in Little Mix has been the most incredible time of my life. We have achieved things I never thought possible. From winning our first Spread Award to our sold-out shows at the O2, making friends and fans all over the world, I can't thank you all enough from the bottom of my heart for making me feel like the luckiest girl in the world. You have always been there to support and encourage me, and I will never forget it. The truth is, recently being in the band has really taken a toll on my mental health. I find the constant pressure of being in a girl group and living up to expectations very hard. There comes a time in life when we need to reinvest in taking care of ourselves rather than focusing on making other people happy, and I feel like now is the time to begin that process. So after much consideration and with a heavy heart, I'm announcing I'm leaving Little Mix. I need to spend some time with the people I love, doing things that make me happy. I'm ready to embark on a new chapter in my life. I'm not sure what it's going to look like right now, but I hope you'll still be there to support me. I want to say thank you to everyone involved in our journey, all the hard work and dedication that went into making us a success. To every single fan who came to see us in concert, who listened to our songs and sung their hearts out, sent me messages and supported me along the way, I want you to know I love you all so much, and I could never have done this without you, and I appreciate it endlessly. Most of all, I want to say thank you to Jade, Perry, and Leigh-Anne for creating some of the most amazing memories I'll never forget. I hope that you'll continue to fulfill all of your dreams and keep on making music that people love. Love, Jesy." So basically, Jesy was citing her mental health as the reason why she was leaving Little Mix, and it came out later that basically she felt like she received the worst hate of the group, of the 4 girls in Little Mix, who are Perry Edwards, Jade Thirlwall, and Leigh-Anne Pinnock, I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. So she kind of felt like she was the least liked, the most hated, and that's why she left the group. Now, over time, it seemed as if people weren't really buying this narrative that Jesy was the most hated and that she left because of all of the hate, and she left because it was taking a toll on her mental health, especially because Leigh-Anne, who is Black, she is part of the group, and they were saying that Leigh-Anne was really getting most of the hate because of her race, and that a lot of it had to do with racism. Now, mind you, and this is a very important part of this entire video, Jesy is white, all right? Jesy and Perry are white, and then Jade, she's kind of mixed with like Arab and Egyptian and things like that. And then Leigh-Anne is Black. I'm not sure if she's like mixed with anything. She's kind of lighter skinned, but she's visibly black. So a lot of fans were kind of saying that Jesy was trying to play victim and cite a lot of that, all of the hate that she was getting as the reason why she was leaving, when in reality she was not receiving the amount of hate that Leigh-Anne was receiving, especially because she was the only black person in the group. And this dynamic is a little bit reminiscent to me of what happened in Fifth Harmony. Obviously I don't think that Jesy was out here like calling Leigh-Anne the N-word or anything like that, but it is very interesting. If you remember from Fifth Harmony, Camila Cabello and Normani specifically, Camila Cabello's fans at one point, while they were all still in the group, were relentlessly attacking Normani, calling her monkeys, calling her all types of racial slurs and derogatory terms, and were sending her disgusting hate, and Camila stayed silent on it. And a lot of Little Mix fans are saying that Jesy stayed silent about a lot of the racist hate that Leigh-Anne received, and kind of downplayed it to make herself seem like more of a victim. And I'll show a video later kind of confirming that that seems to be the case. And so that dynamic is just very reminiscent to me of what happened in Fifth Harmony, as far as, you know, one group member getting hate related to racism and another group member kind of pushing it off and shoving it off and kind of ignoring it. So fast forward to a few days ago, Jesy Nelson dropped her first lead single of her solo career, Boys, featuring Nicki Minaj. Now, I didn't care to listen to this song or watch the video, especially because I'm not a person that listens to Little Mix. I think I have like one song by them, but I just didn't really care. But I decided to watch the music video, especially because of the controversy surrounding it. And the song itself is honestly not good in my opinion. It's a very basic pop song that I think is not any different from anything that Little Mix or Fifth Harmony or any of these girl groups would make. And that's not personally music that I super vibe with. Especially just like, I like Bad Boys. Like, I don't know. It wasn't for me. Nicki's verse, in my opinion, was kind of saving it. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't really a song that I liked. And I thought the aesthetics were a little questionable, and yeah, we'll get into the aesthetics. But basically, as far as the song itself is concerned, not my favorite. It was just another pop song. It sounds like music that's just kind of manufactured instead of really slaved over and really made to be art, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But anyways, people watched the video and had a lot of opinions about it, strong feelings about it, because of Jesy's skin tone and the way that she was presenting herself in this video. Throughout the video, again, she's talking about how she likes bad boys, and it seems that she's only using very black aesthetics, clearly black aesthetics. You can see throughout the video she has, you know, different settings and sceneries, and she has different looks and outfits, but what remains the same is that she's pulling a lot from black culture. And what's also noticeable is that her skin tone is pretty dark, especially for someone who is a white woman. And people noticed that, and a lot of people took offense to it. Just for comparison, here is what Jesy looked like the day of her X Factor audition. And then here is another early picture of her, much clearer picture, where you can see her skin tone. She's clearly a white woman here. Obviously, she has like bronzer, lots of bronzer. She honestly looks very British in this picture. I hope that nobody takes offense to that, but she just like, that's how I see a lot of British people do their makeup. But she's clearly white. Now, if you compare that to what she looks like in the Boys video, she looks very different. Now, she said that she's had lip fillers and like work done. And I think I saw an article where she was talking about how like it was because of the pressure of like social media and things like that, and just being in the limelight. So I won't really fault her for like getting lip fillers and things like that, because I do think that that's just a big part of society now, and a part of being famous now is that's just part of it. However, I did not know that she was just fully white. I honestly thought that she was mixed, and I used to get Jesy and Jade mixed up, actually. I knew that Jade was like, she had something in her. I knew that she wasn't fully white. And I also thought that Jesy wasn't fully white, because I used to get them mixed up all the time because their skin tones were so similar and they kind of looked alike to me. I just used to get them mixed up. So I never really knew that Jesy was fully white until I saw all of the backlash because of this music video. And you can see that she's definitely tanned more, and she just has that aesthetic of a black woman, or at least a light-skinned woman, or at least being racially ambiguous. Now, as far as the blackfishing is concerned, this is how I feel, and I'm just going to say this right now. I am about staying consistent. If I say it once, I will say it again, and I will say it for everyone. I think that blackfishing is when you literally don't know what that person's race is, and you believe that they are black. So they are literally, it's just like catfishing. You think that this person is one person, but they're really different. It's not just getting a very dark tan, but everyone knows your race. So like when people talk about like the Kardashians blackfishing, I don't think that the Kardashians are capable of blackfishing, because everyone knows that the Kardashians are not black. So when people really talk about like celebrities blackfishing, I don't think that that's necessarily valid, just because I don't like, when I think of blackfishing, I think of people who literally pretend to be black. And I don't think that the Kardashians have ever done that. Have they used black aesthetics? Absolutely. Have they used a lot of black culture? Absolutely. But I wouldn't call it blackfishing. I think that if you're going to use that term, it should be used in certain contexts. So when it comes to Jesy, even though I personally did think that she was at least a woman of color, I still don't believe that it's blackfishing, because mostly everyone else who knew anything about Little Mix knew that she was a white woman. So that's why I wouldn't accuse her of blackfishing. However, I do believe that she's definitely using these black aesthetics to her own advantage. And what I do find interesting is that she's using it for this particular song. As you can see from this little picture from the video here, you can see that she has the little do-rag headscarf on, and you can see the two black men, and of course she has like the white man in the back, but she has the black men with the do-rag and the chains, and you know, they're lifting weights. And throughout the video, it was very much giving black aesthetics more than anything else. You know, when you talk about bad boys, you're not necessarily talking about a particular race. I mean, you could talk about any type of bad boys, not black boys. See, she already has got me mixed up. But anyways, you could be talking about any type of bad boys. Like you could be in like a mafia scenery, and you could be like in The Godfather. That'd actually be because they're bad boys too. Or you could be like in the 50s with like greasers and like that very bad boy aesthetic. Or you could just be on like a prison yard and just anyone who's a prisoner. But all of the aesthetics were leaning towards a lot of black hood culture. And that's where I really found kind of an issue with it, because it seemed like when she was talking about bad boys, she was talking about a particular race of bad boys. And then here are some lyrics from the song. So it starts off saying, ooh, or like this is like the refrain. It says, ooh, I like them tattoos and them gold teeth, type to make me feel like I'm a baddie. Now, who has tattoos and gold teeth? Like, especially the gold teeth. You talking about a grill? Come on. And then in the second verse, she says, got a little attitude, but I think he's kind of cute. So hood, so good, so taboo. So hood, so good. Oh, okay. Who you talking about, love? Who are you thinking of in your mind? Like, if you were to draw a picture of this man, what would he look like? Like, who are we talking about? So I think that a lot of people are kind of looking at the whole thing and being like, okay, you are trying to profit off of blackness in a way that is problematic. Now, this, in my opinion, is especially problematic given the fact that she tried to downplay the hate that Leigh-Anne, her former band member, was receiving because she was black. And Leigh-Anne actually did a whole kind of movement around her being the only black member in Little Mix. And I think that she ended up doing a documentary and everything, especially last year during the Black Lives Matter movement. She really started to talk about her struggles and her experiences as a black woman in Little Mix. And apparently Jesy never acknowledged this. She never really supported her, at least publicly. And she even said that she never really talked to Leigh-Anne about the hate that she was receiving. And I'm gonna go ahead and just insert a clip just so that you can see, like, you can hear it from Jesy's own mouth what she said about the hate that Leigh-Anne received as a black woman.
'Cause I'd never treat me this shitty. You make me hate this city.
But you don't put on any weight.
Well, that's why I'm using the hoodie on.
I knew it affected Leigh-Anne though. She's better at dealing with it than me.
My reality was feeling lonely whilst in predominantly white countries. I sing to fans who don't see me or hear me or cheer me on.
So in my opinion, it's kind of clear that Jesy never cared about what Leigh-Anne was going through as far as being a black woman in Little Mix. And Jesy has always been just insensitive, I think, especially insensitive. And I think that she has been intentionally profiting off of black culture and profiting off of being racially ambiguous and profiting off of all of that. And yet she can profit off of all of it, but she can't acknowledge the hurt and pain that her own band member is going through, and basically just trumps it up to, oh, she just handled it better than I did. I mean, you didn't have to go through complete and utter racism the way that Leigh-Anne did. And I know that I'm not trying to invalidate her experience, or I'm not trying to say that she didn't receive a lot of hate, because I don't doubt that. But Leigh-Anne was going through racism, complete and utter racism, that not only affects herself, but affects a lot of black people in general. Whenever one black person goes through racism, it affects the whole community, because that person is basically saying, I don't just dislike you, I dislike this whole race. So it also affects the black fans, if you think about it. And so for Jesy not to acknowledge it or not to say anything about it, to not even have the conversation with Leigh-Anne, that she said herself she never really had that conversation with her, that is concerning, especially because now she's profiting off of these black aesthetics. Now, this has kind of blown up, this whole controversy has kind of blown up in the past few days, and Jesy actually addressed kind of what everyone has been saying. So when asked about the blackfishing allegations, she said, "The whole time I was in Little Mix, I never got any of that. And then I came out of the band and people all of a sudden were saying it. I wasn't on social media around that time, so I let my team deal with it because that was when I just left. But I mean, like, I love Black culture. I love Black music. That's all I know. It's what I grew up on. I'm very aware that I'm a white British woman. I've never said that I wasn't. So many issues with this. First of all, just because they weren't saying it when you were in Little Mix, maybe it's because you weren't listening, and maybe because you could dodge bullets more because you had less eyes on you because you were one of 4. So now that you're standing on your own 2 feet and you have your own solo career, now you have to hear criticism more loudly and more clearly. On top of that, this is your own solo project, and it's clear that you are taking a lot from Black culture and honestly kind of parading around as if you're trying to be a Black woman. So the criticism is louder because the situation is more blatant. The blackfishing, or whatever you want to call it, is more blatant. So that's why it's being brought up even more now than it was when you were in Little Mix, right? And then on top of that, her saying, all I know is Black culture. No, it's not. You weren't raised by Black people. You are a white woman. You were raised by white parents. So Black culture is not all you know. Trying to make it seem like this is all you know and this is natural for you is an utter lie. So for her to do that is manipulative, and it is wrong, and it's very inappropriate, in my opinion. So then Nicki Minaj decided that she needed to chime in, which Nicki has been getting a lot of flack recently for a lot of messed up things, if they are true. So for her to go to bat for Jesy Nelson right now is wild to me and ridiculous. And what Nicki should have done was just not say anything. If Nicki hadn't said anything, no one would be coming for Nicki. But she has decided to parade around social media, making herself look like a fool in the name of Jesy Nelson. In the name of a single on which she is just a feature. In the name of a single that is not a good song. She could have just let it die and be done. But no, she had to open up her big fat mouth. So here is what Nicki Minaj had to say on TikTok and on Twitter. So Nicki said she was just commenting on a TikTok video basically calling Jesy out for blackfishing. And she said, I can name a couple other singers in the US that tan just as much as this. Y'all always trying to find something. Hashtag very much something. Then she said, so all these reality stars y'all worship with big lips and tans are okay, but Jessy's where y'all draw the line, huh? Now, Nicki, stop. Just don't say anything. First of all, it's very funny how now she's like, well, I can name other people that are doing this. Well, why don't you? Why is it that you're not saying, you're trying to just deflect blame? Instead of saying this isn't wrong, which would be, I guess, a more valid defense, is her just saying, I don't think that she's blackfishing. Instead, you're trying to deflect blame, and that's only basically saying that she's guilty, but other people are guilty, and since you're not calling them out, then you can't call her out. That's not how that works, and that's not a very good defense. Also, I think it's very interesting that she did not go to bat this hard for Ariana Grande when she was receiving this type of criticism about blackfishing. That's very interesting to me, that she's going so hard for Jesy Nelson. And mind you, she's been featured on Ariana Grande's songs many times, and she's never gone this hard for Ariana. So it's just very interesting why she's going so hard for Jesy this way. Then she said, Jesy, we all got these hashtag jelly B words acting real messy. Stop it, girl. Going live in 1 hour on IG to get into some things. Now, Nicki is referring to the fact that allegedly Leigh-Anne had contacted some radio stations saying not to play this song Boys because of these blackfishing allegations, and because she felt uncomfortable with the fact that she felt like Jesy was blackfishing. Now, mind you, again, Leigh-Anne is black. Leigh-Anne is black. And Leigh-Anne might feel some type of way that Jesy is parading around acting as if she's a black woman in a lot of different ways and using a lot of black aesthetics, but couldn't say anything about the fact that Leigh-Anne was going through the racism that she was going through. So Leigh-Anne might feel some type of way. Now, if she did that, then she did it. I don't feel like she's in the wrong. I don't feel like Leigh-Anne is in the wrong for saying, hey, this whole aesthetic is inappropriate. I read the lyrics. They were kind of racist. Like, just the whole idea that bad boys have to just be black. And that you're only talking about black men. You couldn't have said blonde hair and blue eyes. Why did you have to say the grills, the tattoos, he's from the hood? Like, who are you referring to? So the song is inappropriate. She's talking about black men. So no, I don't think that Leigh-Anne is in the wrong. And I guess Nicki and Jesy caught wind of this, and also Little Mix had unfollowed Jesy by this point, and so they decided to go live, and here is what they had to say.
Hard. Take them text messages and shove it up your fucking ass. Because when you do clown shit, I gotta treat you and talk to you like you a clown. Don't have to come out and try to ruin anyone. Let her enjoy this time. If you was in this woman's group and you ain't talk about this shit for 10 years, and as soon as you see she got a video come out with Nicki Minaj and Puffy, now you sending the stations text messages and all this shit. Print them text messages out. Bust your ass open and shove it up your motherfucking ass. Okay? And stop trying to hurt people and kill people's lives and career. This is the way people feed their families. Stop. If you want a solo career, baby girl, just say that. You can go out and put your own music. We're going to support you and love you. That's it. You don't have to attack someone else. If that's how you felt, why would you keep keying with her and being in the videos with her for 10 years? Now, all of a sudden, she's not in a video with you. You have some negative, evil thing to do and say? Stop.
It's just hard for me because I was obviously, like you said, I was in a group with 2 women of colour for 9 years, and it was never brought up to me up until the last music video that I did with them, when she like messaged me and said, like, Jesy, I just want to make you aware that, like,
she even what she ain't have the balls and all of this so that she can have it. When people do shit like that, like, yo, put this fucking energy and focus on your own blood clot life.
So many thoughts. First of all, Nicki sounds like a complete idiot. The fact that she decided that this would be a good idea to go on live and to drag Leigh-Anne, another black woman, for the sake of this white woman is wild to me. Nicki, even if she felt the same way that she felt, she could have just not said anything. Jesy can fight her own battles. She's a big girl. You don't have to go on Instagram Live to go defend this white woman while also dragging this black woman. Like, what is this? Like, what? You're dragging a black woman in defense of a white woman. Do you know how ridiculous you sound right now? And then on top of that, Jesy laughing about all of this with a woman she just met, laughing at a woman that she was bandmates with for 9 years. Ridiculous. And then on top of that, when Jessy's like, oh, they didn't say anything to me until like the last music video. Maybe it's because it got out of hand. And now it's just completely out of hand. Maybe it's because it was a progression of you doing this. And that's why no one said anything when you were in Little Mix, and now people are saying things because it's gotten worse. And that's maybe why they said something during that music video. The fact that they said something to you says a lot about who they are and their character. Because they took issue, and instead of letting you get dragged by the entire fan base, they said, wait, let me go and let me check on my girl and let me say, hey, this isn't good and this is a bad look. And instead of you taking the criticism from women of color, from a black woman, instead you say, no, I'm actually going to do it much worse, and I'm going to make a song about how only black men are bad boys. They both look ridiculous. The whole situation is ridiculous. And quite frankly, I'm gonna start streaming Little Mix just because of this. Just because I hate how Jesy is responding to this. I hate how Nikki is responding to this. This is honestly why I can't stand Nikki. It's like I start to like Nikki and then she does stuff like this to where it's like, you're being absolutely ridiculous. If she had just said nothing, I wouldn't have any criticism towards Nikki. Just for featuring on a song, I wouldn't have any criticism towards her. But the fact that she is defending her the way that she is ridiculous. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Do I think that Jesy is exactly like blackfishing? I wouldn't necessarily go far as to say that, but she's, in my opinion, I think that she is appropriating Black culture. I do. I think that she's appropriating Black culture and using Black culture and Black aesthetics for her own benefit, while also kind of being racist with those lyrics, and also ignoring Black issues and ignoring the racism that Black people endure. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the situation. So that is it for me. Please enjoy this obligatory picture of Keith Powers, a beautiful Black man who is not a bad boy, as I close out this video. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of the situation. But please remember that if you are not Black, then just be aware of what you're saying. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, please leave your comments down below. Please do subscribe to my channel. Turn on the post notifications so that you're notified the next time that I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. Yeah, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.